We have the Rams and the Lions up next. The Rams are favored by 14.5 points at home. The over-under is set at 50.5. 50.5. I got a country accent at the end of that one. What is going on? All right, but anyway, what a difference a year makes, huh? I bet you Jared Goff is praying to wake up from this nightmare where he wound up in a Freaky Friday situation with Matt Stafford. But this is real life, and Goff and the Lions are clearly on the losing side of this divorce, which of course we all saw coming. But how bad will it be on Sunday, Matt?
Jared Goff's going to be lucky if he can wake up on Monday. That's how bad it's going to be. Rams are going to blow them out of the water. I'd take the Giants over the Lions any day. You put them in a neutral field. I think the Giants can beat the Lions. The Giants just got absolutely manhandled. The Rams are continuously getting better each and every week as they start to find just their groove with some of the shots. You know, the Rams, what's been interesting with them is it seems like a different offense than it's been under McVay over the last few years. They actually rank in the bottom half. I believe it's like the bottom 8 when it comes to play action passing, which has been an entire staple of the Sean McVay system over the last few years. And I believe a lot of that has to do with they actually have trust in their quarterback. However, I think it's taking some of the players a little bit of time to just kind of adjust and find that perfect groove where we've seen Stafford miss a couple times on a couple deep shots down the field. Well, if there's ever a game to just get everything perfect and have a perfect storm hit, it'd be against the Lions because the Lions can't do anything. And on top of that, too, considering the fact that we've got 2 of the top 3 offensive linemen on the Lions side out on IR at this point, maybe you can update me. I know Taylor Decker is due back soon enough. I don't know if it's this week, though, maybe next. But at this point, who on that offensive line is going to be able to control Aaron Donald? And if that's the case and you don't give Goff any time at all to find someone down the field, who's going to get open? I'm outside of DeAndre Swift. I'm extremely worried about like anybody you'd play, including Hawkinson. I mean, you may be trying over by Apocalypse. Maybe you're trying to throw in Amon-Ra, St. Brown. I don't like it. I'm not even sure the Lions get to 10 points scored in this game, except for, of course, DeAndre Swift's, every single week, fourth quarter, 3 minutes left, touchdown, and like 5 receptions going down the field while they're in complete garbage time. Outside of that, though, fire up all of your Rams in confidence. Higbee, Henderson. Henderson should feast this time. Kupp, Woods, everyone that you got. I'm not sure the Lions are even going to be able to force a punt. So the line on this one, 50.5. I'm going to take the under on it just because I really don't believe the Lions are going to be able to score enough. But the Rams could easily be scoring 38 plus points on this one. Tyler, what do you think on this one? Or Jake, sorry.
Yeah, so I like the Rams in this one as well. I just don't think the Lions are a good team. It's going to be very, very tough for them to get a win this season. I just don't see it really happening. So I'll take the Rams to cover. As far as the over-under goes, I want to because I think it's going to be a little bit more high-flying from the Rams side, but I'm going to take the under because, like you said, Matt, I just think Jared Goff, even though it's a quote-unquote revenge game for him, he's coming back to LA. It just doesn't matter. That team is terrible. They're slow. Their offensive line is hurt. So Aaron Donald's going to be getting to him, going to actually be able to hit the quarterback. I'm sure he's wanted to do that in practice for so many years. So he finally gets to unleash on him. So I'm going to take the under just because I think the Rams are going to absolutely just stomp on the Lions in this one. And as far as Lions fantasy goes, Swift and Hawk are the only players during this apocalypse that I'm confident playing. I'm pretty confident playing them every week because you kind of have to with where you drafted them and where you're playing. And it seems like Swift is terrible throughout the game, but somehow, some way, he always ends up with just garbage time points. It always happens that way. And you're not mad at the end of the game, but you're mad for the first 3.5 quarters. So I think Swift is another fair play because he's going to have a bunch of garbage time touches and points. Rams aren't the greatest against the tight ends, so this could be the TJ Hawkinson bounce back game. On the Rams side, though, you're playing everybody. I love Darrell Henderson. Last week, you saw him line up out wide and ran a sluggo for a touchdown. That's new coming. That's a new wrinkle coming from Darrell Henderson. So I love him this week. I think they're going to feed him. He's going to have a great game. Tyler Higbee also, Lions are terrible against tight ends. Higbee's going to have an awesome game.
Yeah, when I was looking at this game earlier, I looked at the line and I just remember something. I remember growing up. I grew up in a betting household. My dad's a big gambler, and these huge lines. For the longest time, I just used to always go, you take the dog. You take the dog 14.5 points. That's a lot of points. You can be leading by 21 the whole game, and you give up a touchdown at the end, and there's a backdoor cover. But when you actually break down the statistics, it's funny because most of the time the favorites actually cover. If you look at 14 or more point spreads since 2003, it's 71 and 64 in favor of the favorite covering. And I look at this game and there's just so many intangibles, right? Mike talked about it earlier with the Freaky Friday situation and these two quarterbacks. I think that there's so much pressure on Jared Goff. And that's why originally when I was looking at this, I was going, can he rise to the occasion? Can he do? I just don't think he can. I think that this Rams defense is just too talented to let it happen. I think they are so excited to have gotten Matt Stafford. And I don't think they're going to let him down against this former team that, essentially held him hostage for the first, main portion of his career. So I'm gonna find myself in agreement with you guys. I like the Rams to cover. I am gonna take the over. And I think it's because I just expect the Rams to pour it on. I think they're gonna pour it on. I could see the Rams scoring 42 points, and I think the Lions can maybe score 10. So I'm gonna find myself with the over. You play all your Rams. I think one sneaky play this week is if you need somebody for Bipocalypse. I don't think Sony Michel's a bad play. I think they're going to be up so much, and Darrell Henderson has kind of been a little bit hurt and then fine and then out for a couple snaps. And then I think Sony is one of those guys that at the end of the game, they're not going to be afraid to feed him and keep Darrell healthy. I think Darrell Henderson will still have a great game, but I just don't think he's going to see a ton of playing time in the fourth quarter.
I need to make an amendment real quick. I'm taking the over. I had literally had a thought as I was looking at this that the Rams would score like 41 or 42 and thought the 10. So the fact that you just said like the exact numbers, I gotta take that. This is gonna be such a fucking blowout.
Well, I'm gonna stay on the under, and I am gonna make it unanimous and take the Rams. But I did want to just point out a few things. TJ Hawkinson had a bounce back game last week. He had 8 catches for 74 yards. He didn't get to the end zone, but he's still the tight end 6 on the year. Sony Michel is actually the one that's on the injury report and not Henderson. So that's kind of an interesting thing going on there. But I did want to pose just an in general fantasy question to you guys. So far, Cooper Kupp is the wide receiver 1. Do you expect him to hold that position throughout the remainder of the year? If not, who do you think could surpass him?
I don't think he'll hold number 1. I do think he'll stay top 5 for sure. Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams probably has like 30 points this week alone against that Washington secondary.
Yeah, but Matt, I think Cooper Kupp has 30 points this week too. And I think that's the thing is, you know what? I think we didn't want to buy it, but let's look at the last few years. We've always experienced this. When Cooper Kupp is healthy, Cooper Kupp is a wide receiver 1. Now you give him a massive quarterback upgrade. You know what? obviously, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to take the field because you always take the field. But if you give me one specific guy, if Cooper Kupp stays healthy, I feel like a bad game for Cooper Kupp is 10 targets. And what Cooper Kupp can do downfield with 10 targets with the accuracy coming out of Matt Stafford and their ability for them to just be in every game, always able to score. Give me Cooper Kupp to take it.
Yeah, one thing, sorry, real quick, was the question for this game or for rest of the season?
Rest of the season.
Okay. Yeah, for rest of the season, I'll probably take the field. I like Devontae Adams. I think he's going to be absolutely insane. But for this week, I think actually Cooper Kupp has a great chance of being the number one for this week. You also got to remember, this is a revenge game for Matt Stafford too. Like he was stuck in Detroit for so long, and now he finally gets to play them and beat them and prove on, I don't know if this is one of the national games, but he gets to prove how good he actually was. I think he's going to take a little bit personal to this game. So as far as this week, I like Cooper Kupp a lot. I think he has a really, really solid possibility of being the number one wide receiver on the week, just because I think Matt Stafford could be going off. So I might revise mine just like you did as well, Matt. I might take the over on this one just because I think the Rams are. I also said this about the Bucks when they play New England, but I think the Rams have a better shot at it this week.
Thank you for listening to this little highlight of the 2 Minute Drill podcast. If you want to follow along to other games, here's a playlist for you. If you want to listen to the show in its entirety, show links are in the description. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.